You are now tuned in to The Gifted Gab.
All right. Thanks everyone for tapping in, for starting this new episode of The Gifted Gab. I have a lovely Toronto-based tattoo artist, goes by the name of Imarri. We got into a lot actually this episode. We got into black diversity within the industry, some of the problems within the tattooing industry, just basically issues that I've never even heard of, and I'm sure you haven't either. We're talking to someone that has tattooed the likes of Steph Curry, Ayesha Curry.
No, I also did a
City TV
live
interview.
Yep. When have you ever heard of them wanting to
And
interview a tattoo artist
It's not normal. And
about tattooing dark skin?
Yeah.
women? Yeah.
And just being a black artist, a black woman that's in the industry is important too. So we got into those aspects of representation. So make sure to tap in. It's a good one. Get your popcorn ready.
Yes.
Get your soda if you're into that. I don't drink soda. I don't know if you do, but hey.
I like ginger ale.
I do.
We give a pass to ginger ale.
I don't consider that. I don't consider that.
Yeah, we don't. You're right.
I'm not with it. Yeah, come on now. I'm Jamaican.
Yeah.
Come on now. You are too. Yeah. Anyways, stick on for the ride. We here. Mari, how you doing?
I'm good.
How's everything been, man?
Everything's been good. I just been like working. Actually, I took a little break, but yeah. How you doing?
Back to it. I'm good. Just trying to keep this thing steady. The hardest part about podcasting is obviously creating the content, but obviously getting people on the same page in terms of like scheduling. Yeah. Like we're saying, this is like an hour over. You know what I'm saying? So just things like that. Yo, I think I need an assistant. Yeah. I think I need an assistant.
I have one for you.
You have one?
Natalie.
Say a word.
She just started an assistance company.
No way. Shout out to her. Yeah, that's crazy. Yo, it's just a small world. Yeah,
Remember
that's crazy.
I posted it and you were like, yeah.
Yeah, that's my homies. Like we kind of grew up in the same area for a bit.
Hit her,
Yeah.
She's good for it.
For sure. Actually, just do me one favor. Tilt the mic a little bit. Yeah, talking.
1 2 1 2.
Yeah, there you go. So if you hear, there we go. We here. We here. So what's new with you? What's going on?
Honestly, not too much. Just trying to get back into the groove of things and get things situated for my next step and what I want to do with, like my career and like what I'm trying to do.
Tilt it a little bit up. There you go. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Next steps. Yeah. So like you're known as a tattoo artist in the city, and that's obviously how I met you. Like you gave me my first tat. To this day,
your only tat.
My only like I'll go to places and people be like, "Yo, where'd you get that from?" Like that's sick, and I'm like,
part of my collection. Yeah,
that's crazy. All right, future. All right, but yeah, like how did you? I want to ask, like, how did you get into the game like that?
Originally the way I got into tattoo, it's actually crazy because in high school I always said like I would never get a tattoo because I grew up Seventh-day Adventist, right? So I grew up Christian.
It's crazy.
Yeah, right.
I did too. Yeah. Partially.
So, really, what it was is like I wasn't even doing art at the time. I kind of gave up on it because I was just like I wasn't connecting with what I was doing, and I wasn't putting out the work that I wanted to because it was like I wasn't taking my time. I wasn't being patient. It was like I wanted a certain outcome, but I wasn't giving myself the chance to get the outcome. You know what I'm saying? I wanted it to equal 2, but I was putting 0 + 1. It was like it was never going to equal 2, like, you know what I mean? So I just kind of stopped doing it for years. And then after randomly, like I was in university, I was in a science program.
Science.
I was.
That's different.
BSc, special honors, smart girl. And someone asked me, they're like, "Oh, can you design a tattoo for me?" And I was like, okay. And I did it. And the tattoo artist gave me like really great feedback. And he was like, this is a white guy. He's like, honestly, like you should consider tattooing. Like, he's like, there's not a lot of black people.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of black women,
especially in the scene. Yeah,
exactly. So he's like, you should try it. And I think it was like maybe like 2 years later, I asked someone, I was like, how much is the equipment? Like, what am I looking at? And I swear, she was like, it's like $300, $400. I was like, oh, okay. So I went to go get the stuff, and I was like, okay, I need this, and this. And they pull out everything, like 20 things for me of what I need to get started. And like, that's like $1,000. And I was like, oh, okay.
Like, damn,
like, I can't tell you to put it all back.
That's when you really find out, like, are you really invested in
want
this?
To do it? So I was like, fuck it. Like, I can't ask them to put all this shit back now.
Wait, so hold on. That's the reason why you got into it? A fear of no,
I
man.
am like that.
Nah,
I am very
bro.
much like that. I'm very much like that. Like, I will spend the money because I don't want to. I feel bad.
I know those. No, honestly, I know those ones though. I know those. Not to that capacity, but like I've been in situations where it's like I'll buy, like, for instance, I'll buy like some clothes, for instance, and I'm just like, it could be like a cheap pair of clothing, whatever, or I'll buy like a drink, whatever. It'll be like $5. I won't even open it, and actually, no, I'll give you a better example. My guy Berman, shout out to the host of the studio. We bought these headphones, right? And the price online came to like $60. It was supposed to be discounted, but when I went into the shop, it came to like $64. And so what happened was I went to the shop, I bought it for $64, and unknowingly I came to him. He's like, "Yo, you could have got these for $60, right? Just go in there, return them, and buy them again. You saved $8." I'm thinking, yeah.
I'm never gonna.
I'm never gonna do it. But like, I know I should do it to save the funds. But it's just money. Like, with times like that, years, fuck it. It's like, fuck it. But yeah, I didn't know that's how you started.
Literally, that was literally what it was. I was like, and that was like, it was like, okay, I have to care now. Like, I just spent $1,000. Back then, like $1,000. I mean, $1,000 is still $1,000, but back then $1,000 was $1,000.
It was hurting a little bit more. Try to talk into the mic a little bit more. Yeah.
Hello.
That's perfect. But no, that's some real shit though. I think because the times are changed, right?
Yeah.
Price of gas, like.
I was working as a server at the time, so it was $1,000. I was like, fuck, I just gotta really try it and do what I gotta do. And I started practicing at home on myself. Then I started practicing on fake skin first.
Fake skin,
like it's like a rubber kind of.
Like you buy it off like.
Yeah, like
Amazon?
They gave it to me.
Oh, okay.
Mithra, that's where we get all our stuff from. And then after I started practicing on myself, and then my friend Quincy, I would practice on him. Like, shout out to him because he was like the person like that believed in me heavy with all my art. Like, he would come to none of my friends. I remember I had a when I used to paint, I had a pop-up for 2 days straight. Nobody came.
Nobody came. Where was this?
Dante Colley.
Yeah.
He
heard
came
the name.
Support me. My friend at the time, Tamia, she came. And my friend Quincy, he would always support me with all my art endeavors, everything that I would do. He would always support me and encourage me with all that stuff. So shout out to him because he's really the big reason as to like why I stuck with it. And he gave me, like, he let me practice on him, and I was shit.
Okay.
I would tie him in my crib, in his bedroom, like, you know what I'm saying, just practicing.
Real ink.
Real ink.
Well, how big a piece are you talking about?
I low-key owe him a tat still. I owe him a whole day session, low-key. But, yeah, he would let me practice, and then after I started working at a shop. It didn't go well. Mind you, I've only ever worked at Black-owned shops.
Yeah.
And then after...
That's important. It's big. Yeah, it's big.
And then after Rashawn, he kind of found me, and he knew I would find him type thing.
What do you mean by that?
Like he knew I was going to come searching, like, for something else. Because the shop I was at was not cutting it, right? So he's like, when I saw where you were working, and I saw, like, your work, I knew you were going to need somewhere else to work. I knew you were gonna hit me up.
So
I did. I hit him up. I'm like, hey.
Yeah. So when as a tattoo artist with someone like yourself, what do you look for in a shop? Like, is there things that are non-negotiables when looking for shops to tattoo at, or is it just a relationship thing? Like, how do you look at it?
See, it's hard to answer that because I still feel like I'm not really in the tattoo world. Like, one thing people...
What?
No, like, what you have to understand is for Black artists, it's so different. Like, our side of the world of the tattoo industry is different. Especially, I would say, in Toronto. In the States, it probably is a bit more regular because there's a lot more Black artists out there. Mm-hmm. But in Toronto, tell me a Black shop that you know. Exactly. You can't.
I really can't, and that's it's a shame I can't.
You dead ass can't. It's not common at all. And so for me, like in the tattoo industry, hazing is a big issue. It's a very racist industry. It's a very sexist industry. Sexual assault, all that shit is very, very common in the tattoo industry. And a lot of people take advantage of their apprentices. They haze you. They do it's a lot. I've heard so many stories, honestly. I'm very blessed. So when you ask me like what you look for, I dead ass could not get up and go. I would have no idea what to do. Yeah. I've honestly been blessed. Like I've been guided by God, honestly. That's the only reason why I am where I am right now. Because I've had doors open for me so that I didn't have to really be in a situation where I'm like struggling, like, oh my God, where am I gonna work? Where am I gonna work? Where am I gonna work? You know, like I have my brothers that I work with that I've been under their wing for like a while now, you know, so I'm very grateful. But if I were to tell somebody else, like somebody that looks like me, what to look for, I would tell them to definitely look for something that you see as family oriented. Because in an industry like this, where you're doing things where it's like artistry, it's coming from the heart, or at least it should be.
For sure.
Which means that I need to connect with you. You need to connect with me. And if you're like if you guys are like, you know, just like all for themselves, like, oh, I'm a sick artist, you need to figure it out, or you did. You're not going to learn anything. You're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to be comfortable. You're not going to want to work. You're not going to be inspired, nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I need to go to work and be comfortable and feel like I can get up and go look at what you're doing and ask you questions, and you actually want to help me. You actually want to help me grow. You know what I'm saying? You got to look for a clean space, people that have their head on their shoulders, that have good moralities, because when it comes to tattoo artists, like, people want a tattoo, bro, because they're like, oh, it's money, but it's a big responsibility. Like, you're dealing with people's confidence, their health. You're doing permanent work on people. You only get one chance. Like,
this is really it.
It's times, bro. I went through times where I would cry. Like, bro, I almost wanted to quit at one time. Like, I had times where I was crying, like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot of responsibility, and like, people don't understand that.
What kept you back in it though? When you go through times like that, what kind of kept you grounded?
I don't know. I just don't give up.
Yeah, I like that shit. That's actually the best answer you can.
I just don't give up.
Yeah, that's some real shit. I think like you spoke on it before, like the industry, and lately the guests I had on earlier, like a lot of times with arts in general, there's not enough representation when it comes to Black people. But for you being like you're the only Black woman that I know that's in the industry right now. Like you have a lot of eyes on you. You know what I'm saying? You're representing a lot. Like,
I do, and there's a few of us, but you know, I will say I do what I do, and you know what? I just think it's different. Like, my clients will tell you, I'm sure a lot of my clients can vouch. Like, your experience with me, like, you are one of them. But your experience with me is different. Like, I genuinely care because I've been on your end. I'm going through tattoo removal. I've been through phases where I was depressed. Like, I could cry right now about the way some of my tattoos make me feel, like the confidence that it's taken from me, you know, and like the pain I have to go through to get these tattoos removed, because the pain of getting a tattoo is nothing compared to the pain of removing a tattoo.
I heard it's like almost 10 times worse.
It's worse. It's so much worse.
Yeah.
So when you're in my chair, it's like I genuinely care. Like, you know, even if you think I'm annoyed, at the end of the day, I really want you to speak up, and I really want you to feel like you have a voice when you're in my chair, and I really want you to get what you want at the end of the day.
That's one thing I think you've done a good job with me, especially like because this is literally the first tattoo I've ever had.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. I don't know what the experience was like. I had some friends that had it, but they're getting these little inky dinky type tattoos.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that like a little heart, like,
and
here.
They'll make it seem like, oh, it's nothing.
Ones, yeah, like, oh, like how many tattoos do you have? Like, I have this. Like, yeah, I got 5. They'll show like one like half centimeter here, one on their ankle. I'm like, what is this, man? You know, but for you, well, for me, even like being in your chair, you had a certain comfort. You know, you made it easy for a first time tattooer. Is that the right word? I don't know. Tattooee.
Tattooee.
I don't know. But anyways, you know what I mean. Like it's and that's just all comes down to trust.
for sure.
You know, we never spoke before
and
that.
But huge in the
facts.
tattoo industry is trust. And I encourage clients, do not get into somebody's chair. I wish I knew this. And this is why, like, when I do certain things with my clients, it's because I wish someone did that for me. I wish someone took maybe 5 more minutes or asked me one more time, are you sure? Or said, you know what, your idea is great, but I think this would be better. Because some people you'll come into the shop, you'll tell them, or you'll message them, whatever the process is, you'll say, I want this, and they're like, sure, come, and they'll do it. They don't say, oh, that's too small, it's not going to work. There's no correction, and that's your job as a tattoo artist. It's not the client's job to come into my shop and to have to say, okay, but this should be done like this. No, it's not their job. When they come in there, they should be not lifting a finger. They should be relaxed, and that's it. They should be enjoying their time, whatever it is, whether it's their day off, they want to do something fun, they're going through something, they're remembering someone, whatever the case may be. They should be coming in there and not lifting a finger. Like, it's my job to tell you, okay, we should do this instead. And sometimes I'll sit with clients and, like, they'll really not want to, like, hear me out. But in the end, they're like, bro, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you told me this. Or I'm so glad that you gave me that option, because now I see, like, what you see. You know what I'm saying?
It's a collaboration, right? Like, for someone that's getting a tattoo, you want to know that who's giving it knows what they're doing, obviously, but also can contribute to the final piece. Like, you're not just tattooing, you're creating the design sometimes. You're altering designs, right? I can even account, like, from my testimony, like, I remember coming to you, I'm like, I want to get certain pieces done, and then I didn't know what I want to put on the third I think it was like a dove you got for me, and then you kind of drew it out, and you're like, nah, that would look better here. To be honest, my initial idea was nowhere close to what finished, but I'm like, I couldn't thank you enough for that. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it should always be. It should be a collaboration. That's just art in general. But I don't know. Have you ever dealt with some hard-headed clients that just don't want to
for sure.
don't want to fix up?
For sure. And honestly, if it gets to a point where I don't agree with you and you don't agree with me, I'll just say no. Like, if you're asking me to do something that I don't feel comfortable doing, or let's say I can do it in my sleep, but I don't feel moved to do it, I'm not going to do it, because it's not fair to me. It's not fair to you. Why am I putting something permanent on your body that I don't even want to do?
So what are some non-negotiables for you? So you have to feel comfortable doing it, obviously. You have to feel moved, you mentioned?
Yes, I want to feel like I actually want to do it. Sometimes I'll do it because it's like, okay, this is fun. Like, sometimes it's fun to do script. It's like a nice break, because it's like clean and it's nice. But I love to create. I want to create stories. That's what I'm trying to move into right now. A lot of people come to me because they find me online, and it's like, oh, Black artist, dark skin, girl, dark skin, da-da. So they think, like they'll be like, oh my God, Mari, like, paragraph, beautiful artist, you're so amazing, da-da-da. Can I get a heart with 2 initials? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I get it. You're coming to me because you trust me, because you're dark skin or whatever complexion you are, and you feel comfortable that I'm going to look out for you. And I get it. That's no problem. But at the end of the day, like, I want to take my career in a certain direction. And at some point in time, that's not going to serve me. You know what I mean? Like, I want to start telling stories in my artwork. And I want people to look at something and be like, oh, that's Mari's work.
You're a storyteller.
Like, she did that.
Like, you can tell.
Yeah, like, I want people to bring their stories to me, and I can create something for them that will tell their story. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm trying to get into a space where I can do larger pieces and do, you know what I'm saying? But it's like
realism.
Gotta trust me, and that's the thing.
But so as an artist, how do you build that trust?
You just kind of, and that's why I do giveaways and stuff like that. My biggest thing as to how I started getting into doing more like realism and stuff like that is I did a half sleeve giveaway, which allowed me to show my work. So people could actually see that, oh, she can do it. Yeah. Like, she can do it. It's okay.
So what was, like, just like a raffle type thing? Like, people just submit their names or?
Yeah, it was like a giveaway, like, online, like, you know, repost, whatever type.
That's genius.
Yeah.
That's actually
I'm about to do one again soon.
Shout out to that. Let us know. We'll have to put that on. But that's crazy. I've never seen that done with tattoos. You found like it helped?
Absolutely. It helps you get, like, exposure.
Yeah. But
then also it helps someone else get something, you know,
in
maybe
return.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
So speaking on exposure, like that's, I feel like as an artist, a tattoo artist specifically, that's something that's so important to just generating clients, you know, making sure people are in your seat, people that are comfortable in your seat. But, you know, a big thing that you've been talking about recently was the tattooing Steph and Ayesha.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that was huge. Obviously, that helped with your exposure. But talk a little bit about that.
That experience is, and I'll talk about that for the rest of my life. Because I think that was what made my mom, like, whoa, like, just take a deep breath and be like, okay, my daughter, she's doing okay.
And just to,
she's going to be fine.
Just to reaffirm for everyone, Steph Curry and Ayesha Curry.
Yes, the.
Yeah. MVP.
The all time.
Top, all time.
Woo.
Generational talent. But yeah, it's crazy.
I think that was like a big stepping stone for me because I was not expecting it. And it's so crazy how it came about because I did a tattoo for someone and they had posted the tattoo on Twitter. So I was like, okay, we have so many mutuals. I'm like, I'm not even going to bother. I'll just retweet it. No problem. And then one day, like a week later or so, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to post it. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to post it. And it kind of like blew up a bit. And so Ayesha's friend Rainey, she's like from Toronto and she's like a stylist and she's like really out there and stuff like that. Like in a good way, you know what I mean? She hit me up and she was like, hey, me and my girl Ayesha want to get tattoos. Now, I thought it was like fake. Like, I was like, who is this? But I had actually found out who she was, like, literally a few days before that.
Ayesha?
No, Rainey.
Oh,
who
Rainey.
that? Yeah, okay, someone had told me, like, because there's a song where Drake mentions her. And someone had said, oh, yo, I know that girl. Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool, da-da-da. So when she messaged me, I'm like, wait, this name, I just heard about this girl. She's a stylist. I'm like, oh, this is real. Like, this is real? It's not I was like, I literally screamed. I'm like, this is real. Like, this is a real person. Like, this is not fake. And, you know, it was like a Friday, and I'm thinking, okay, they were saying Monday time. I'm thinking, okay, like, they're not going to be serious. But they're very serious, very sweet, very kind. I thought it was just going to be, like, Rainey and Ayesha. But their whole family was there, and they were so kind, like, just so regular. And regular is always great. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy. Is Devontae there? As a rapper,
yes,
he's been on the platform. He's been on the Gifted Gab actually. Shout out to him.
Yes, Devontae was there. His girl was there. Yeah. Was it his mom? Yeah, his mom was there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy how there's certain experiences because this all started from you just posting a tweet, right? And now literally. Literally. Well, actually, if you go way back, it's you from just not having the guts to return some items, but you know.
Right. right.
Well, no, I'm a lot of us are glad you didn't though. A lot of us are glad you didn't. So being in this game, what's next for you? Like, what type of things do you have planned? Especially during the summer, we're outside. Toronto's finally open.
So I really, really want to start a YouTube channel. A lot of my clients like tell me that like I have a big personality, and I think I do too. And I think that I have a really good voice. Not like the way it sounds, but like just like the kind of person that I am and what I want to put out into the world. Yeah. I want to be some sort of influence. And my mom always would tell me like, oh, Mara, like you're going to change the world, or you're going to do this. You're going to, you know, something big. You know how your moms hype you up. But I don't know, something inside me like really like believes it. And it sounds so cliche, but I do really want to do that. And I also have decided to start doing permanent giveaways. So I want to start doing every quarter of the year. I want to do like a portrait giveaway. So for someone who's like lost someone to like domestic violence or like shootings, cancer, like whatever the case may be. Just because I know some people can't afford to get a memorial piece. So it gives them a chance, like, you know, I'll be doing it 4 times a year. So there always will be a chance for you to, for you to try to win or something like that.
That's a great way to give back.
Yeah.
An amazing way.
I really want to give back. That's the thing. Like, there's a lot of things I want to do. I started doing like this community walk also where like I feed the homeless. I started like a few years ago. I want to make it into something bigger because right now it's just like out of pocket, and I try to find someone that will help me like distribute the food. But I want to see if I can make it like bigger.
Do you have a name for it?
No.
Or just general, just like
No, I just
you
do it.
hands and knees type of thing. You just going out and just by yourself.
We'll be up until like 7 a.m.
That's tough.
Everything.
That's amazing. Holy smokes.
It's good vibes.
You're doing this for how many years?
3 years now.
You do it in like certain communities or just
I
anywhere?
usually go downtown because it's so much easier.
Yeah, it's
like,
centered.
Yeah, because you know, like everywhere else, it's like you have to like, it's hard to
out
find
the way.
people.
Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I want to do. It's just hard to get my ideas together and how to do it.
Yo, the thing about having so much ideas is it's hard to just pick one to focus on. You know, I have not certain friends, I wouldn't call them friends, acquaintances that have the most amazing ideas, the best ones possible, but I like to call them idea guys. You know what I mean? They have the greatest ideas. They just never, they always be the type of guys that be like, yo, what do you think about this one, bro? I'm just like, yo, that's sick, but what about the last 10 you told me about?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, are you going to do it? So that's the thing with being a creative. It's like you have all these things, but sometimes we just have to lock in on just one, get that dealt with, finish what's on our plate, and then worry about the next one. And then after that. And it's tough sometimes because you have so much distractions.
It is. I hope to like tap into my genius this summer.
Yeah.
Honestly. I just don't know. I think I have to, like I was saying to Berman before, I have to allow myself to come out of my comfort zone to make mistakes. Because when you make mistakes, you trip and you fall. And oftentimes you land on something that is your genius. And then you finally realize this is what is going to make me like me.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
This is what's going to make me make it.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what I hope to tap into this year. That's my goal. But of course, it doesn't happen on my time. It happens on God's time. So
speaking of mistakes, and I don't know if anyone's asked you this question.
Oh, gosh.
Is there any tattoos that you regret doing? Not on yourself, but on other people?
On other people? I won't say regret, but do I have tattoos that were not good? Abso-freaking-lutely. Ask Quincy.
So when you do is it instant regret as soon as it's finished, or is it like a couple weeks pass by, the client shows you
maybe
the
like
tattoo and you're like
a year later, like when I look back now and I'm like damn. I'm sorry. Thanks for being a good friend.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It is what it is, man. It's part of it's a stepping stone though at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, just like with anything.
It is, honestly, and that's the thing about it. Like with tattooing, you just gotta go through it to get through it.
Yeah.
Really and truly. You gotta start somewhere.
Facts.
And people have to also understand that. Like that's also another thing to understand. When you get into someone's chair, you are allowing them to work on your skin. Like understand that. You're giving them permission to put this needle in your arm.
Yeah.
If they fuck up, you said yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate, but it's the reality of it, which is why, again, trust is so important in the industry.
It's huge.
Do not sit in my chair if you don't trust me. Once you're in my chair, don't question me a million times about something that I've done a million times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
I want you to feel comfortable. You shouldn't even walk through that door if you're not comfortable.
Facts. Getting
this tattoo. You know what I mean? It's not a rush. It's not a race.
It shouldn't be.
It's permanent. You can get this tattoo in 5 years if you want.
I've never understood people that like to cheap out on tattoos. Like they'll be like, yeah, I got this tattoo at a discount deal, like $200 for 5 tattoos. I'm like, brother, that's gonna be on your body the rest of your life. And the quality is terrible.
Exactly.
There's certain things you don't get me wrong, there's certain things you want to look for deals for. Tattoos isn't one of them.
It's not it. Tattoo surgeries,
any type of surgery. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, because you can get a deal in a home, but I mean,
you can bargain.
And then you find out that there's rats in the attic, and it's like, oh, duh.
Usually anything that are permanent. You know what I'm saying?
Things that are big investments.
Yeah.
It's okay to invest into it. That's the whole point.
That's all it's about, man.
Money comes and goes.
Yeah, if it's, and
that's the thing about it. It's crazy, like, the way people, and I really think a big part, I don't know what white artists go through. I don't know. I'll never know. But I really see my peers and myself go through it all the time. People want They just don't respect. It's like they don't respect you as an artist. I hear all the time, like, oh, wow, like you actually did good. So you sat in my chair for 5-6 hours to tell me in the end,
Actually,
wow, you actually did a good job.
That's different.
So you didn't
that's
think,
crazy.
you weren't sure I was going to do it. And it's like, oh, wow, when I saw you, I didn't think you were going to do it. I've heard, like, someone literally said to me, when I saw you, you were so cute. I didn't think you were going to do a good tattoo.
Yo, that's...
Bro.
I won't lie, though. When someone says, yo, you're actually a good fill in the blank.
Anything?
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
That's probably one of the most disrespectful things, bro.
So disrespectful.
Like, Berman, if someone came and you said, yo, honestly, bro, you're actually a good business guy. You're actually... Jason, you're actually a good editor. Oh, my gosh. That's crazy, bro. Like, fam, I don't think people even realize the intention behind it, about how disrespectful that is. So what was I before?
Exactly.
You know
Why did you seek me?
Why, like, what is it?
And that's the thing. It's like, I don't know what it is when it comes to like black artists or the black community. It's like it's like this thing of always discount. How can I get it cheaper? How can I, oh, what's the price of this? What's the price, bro? In my DMs, my emails, how much do you really want it? Because if you want it, you're going to pay for it. So how much? I could tell you $30,000. Do you really want it? I could tell you $10. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, do you really want it? You're going to have it forever. You're literally going to die with this tattoo. Like, literally. Like, this is one of the investments you will literally... You're can buy to the grave. You can buy a lot of things in this world. You can buy something to live in comfortably. That shit can burn down tomorrow. That's real shit. You can only lose your tattoo if you lose, like...
You lose your arm,
and that's a real situation. Like that's a next, you know what I'm saying.
We're not even talking about tattoos
exactly,
at that point.
Yeah, at that point, that's you're not even worried about the tattoo. Anymore, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the fact that people cheap out on tattoos of all things. It's like it's a big disrespect in the artist community. It's like people don't look at us as actual workers. I don't think they think we eat. I don't think they think we have to pay bills. I don't think they think that we like. You know what I'm saying? I think they think that we just walk through the world like. La 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 drawing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they don't take our jobs as a real job.
It's a very like people like to think of it as a very free, liberal pursuit. Like a very,
like you don't
very
have
just,
to charge that much.
Like like I'm just like there's and I mean talking to you and having conversations with you, obviously I know it's not like that. Just simply because it's not regarded as the 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You're not at a desk filling out copies of paper or whatever, going to the print. It's not like that. And it's weird because society likes to look at those things as if it's not that. Whatever job you're doing must be less than, right? But I feel like with our demographic, with our age, our generation, we're kind of changing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We see a lot of creators. I hope so too. But we're seeing a lot of creators come up and doing some amazing things, making their things profitable.
And the thing about it is like it takes nothing to learn a job, clock in, and do that every day. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot to do something that you're passionate about and do it well and show up every day.
It's a risk for sure.
You're literally putting yourself out there every day. I can go to work and clock in as an assistant or a receptionist. I don't have to bring myself to work. I just go in there. I could be Imarri today. I could be Julia tomorrow. I could be whoever I want to be at that job. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing something that you actually are passionate about, something that takes from within you, like if I do terrible, I'm gonna feel like shit tomorrow or for the rest of the week.
Don't get me wrong. 9 to 5s, some 9 to 5s are tough.
No, there are a lot of 9 to 5s that are tough.
Yeah,
there's a lot. Like,
but I see what you're saying though. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like
when you're not passionate
about
something,
when you're passionate to something, it takes a big toll on you. Like, you know, everything comes back to mental health, really. So.
And what your motive is, like what gets you out of bed. You know, a lot of times with these 9 to 5s, when you're not passionate about it, it's tough to get there and wake up.
Exactly.
But I completely agree. It's a risk at the end of the day, chasing things that you're not, that's uncertain. Like I'm sure putting that rack down on the equipment when you first started was a risk. What? I'm sure you had some doubts, no?
There's so many. Even like I remember when I worked at my second shop, like when I met the guys that I work with now, they would always tell me, Mari, okay, you gotta start putting in, because I wasn't really like I've been tattooing for almost 4 years now. In like a few months, it'll be 4 years. And for like the first 2 years, I was not tattooing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be there like 2 days a week, maybe, you know, whatever it is.
Kind of like shadowing type of thing? Yeah.
Like just here and there, you know what I'm saying? And they kept telling me like, yo, Mar, like you gotta put in more time. You gotta put in more work. You gotta quit your other job. But I just couldn't see myself quitting my other job because there was no security.
Where were you working at the time, at the full time?
I was working at Joey's.
Okay. Sherwood? Or
No, in Markham.
Oh, you're in the sticks.
Yes, shout out my Joey babes. And it really, when I quit Joey's, is when everything really like
it turned up.
Yo.
Yeah.
And I actually was like, wow, I'm actually making a living off of something that I love, and I'm learning and I'm getting better and better and I'm growing. I was having all these growth spurts, like it was crazy.
That's the most beautiful thing. Yeah. I think when you make, like, I'm not there yet. I'm getting there, but like I can't like describe that for me. I'm in a room full of guys that do what they love for a living, but
come on, you're doing what you love right now.
Shit, not
and
for a
I
living.
heard what you were saying earlier.
Not for a living.
About acting.
Shit, like I said, I'm not there yet, but like it's a different feeling for sure. I could imagine, right?
It is working for yourself and doing something. Yeah, it's amazing. Like it really is amazing.
Yeah,
it's kind of like surreal. Like who would have thought? I mean, I knew I would make it. I don't think I made it. Like, don't get me twisted. Like, I have so much more to go, but I knew that I would find success in something that I love. I just didn't know how or when.
Yeah, when it would come. I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the uncertainty with whenever I can't even talk, with whatever you're taking a risk. There's never a determined time of like, okay, this is when I'll be successful. You really just gotta grind it out until then. Of course, you had some times where you've been here, but like you just said, you're not obviously where you want to be.
Even close.
That's important too. I think a lot of times within the city, we have this ego. A lot of times people think they're better than they are.
Yeah.
There's like this. I don't know what it is. It's
and that's
weird.
The thing. Like people always like, Mari, like you're the, and I'm like, no. I know, like I know I'm good, but like guys, like I know where I could be.
There's
like,
so
you know
much more, so much room for
people
growth.
People are like, oh, you're the GOAT. Like, wait, give me a few years. Give me a few years. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? And that's also a thing with like, I feel like with Black artists, like we kind of have, we don't really get that head start. Like it's for us to learn, it's so hard.
Yeah.
We don't have the same access to things. We don't have the same support and all that stuff, like the money and all that stuff to learn. We don't have a lot of things. Like a lot of us don't have apprenticeships. We all like, a lot of us are self-taught. You know what I'm saying? All the guys I work with, they're all self-taught. Like most of us. Yeah, like it's honestly, you know, and it's like, it's not that we don't have, like, we didn't get any guidance at all. Like, you know, like they definitely, like we would talk to each other. They would help me out and stuff like that. Like, you know, like they would teach me things. But at the end of the day, like we didn't really have like that by the book, okay, you're going to come in and do this tomorrow. We're going to teach you how to do this,
it's
what this meal is, what that meal is, what this machine. I'm still learning all that stuff. We have to learn all that stuff by ourselves. Like, we don't have those spaces.
It's crazy how, imagine if you had that, how far a lot of us would be.
How far?
But it's crazy because you're still making a name for yourself and among other black artists.
We're still doing it.
Without that help, right?
Yeah,
that's amazing. Sure.
It was even like, what was it? Like 2020 when artists finally started coming out and saying, oh yeah, okay, the industry is really messed up. Like it's a lot of racism going on. It needs to be changed. That was only 2 years ago.
If you had to pick like 3 things you want to change in the industry, what would it be?
I want to change. The biggest one is the racism about it. Obviously, it's not a secret that tattooing dark skin is like so confusing for people. Like the amount of stories I have from myself and from clients, like it's genuinely heartbreaking and sad. You know, clients are going into places and being turned down because of the color of their skin, or being told, oh, you can't get this color. Or even a client was telling me how an artist from Toronto was on live. I don't know who the artist was, but they were saying how Black people can't get realism. This was like last year, right? We're in it, right? Mind you, 2021 last year, right?
Holy smokes.
Crazy. So that's something I want to change for sure, that whole ordeal.
Yeah.
Another thing would be the sexism. I know, like, the industry, I feel like a lot of men take advantage of not only their female partners, but also, like, female clients, okay? I know a certain person working in the industry in Toronto. You know,
that's crazy. You don't got a name drop, but just to even know that it's happening, it's
sad,
nuts.
yo. It's happened to me. Like, what I had an artist tell me, oh, like, I wish you weren't so dark while he was tattooing me. Like, even if you think that, why would you say it?
That's based.
Like, wow, now I have to pay you?
Oh, man, I'd be heated.
Are you sure I have to pay you?
I'd be heated. What are you talking about?
Is it free? Because you said that? No?
About?
Okay.
I'd be super heated, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. And now they use tattoo and dark skin as their selling point.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
It's crazy how performative that is.
Very performative, yeah.
That's interesting. Oh, my goodness.
But, another thing, the third thing I would like to change. I think the third thing I would like to change is, I think maybe there should be a little bit more something of, because it's really easy to just start. Anyone can just pick up and tattoo, especially in Ontario.
Yeah.
Like, in the States, you need a license. But even then, the license is not that hard to get.
There's no barrier to entry. It's like starting a podcast,
Literally.
Man. Anyone can start a podcast
Anyone can start a podcast.
And just spew out bullshit.
And it's dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
Very dangerous because you're using needles. You know, it's diseases, it's bacteria. Yeah. Like, you could really...
It's health,
Yeah, really genuinely hurt somebody.
I hope people do their research when it comes to getting tattoos with their artist. I think that's one of the biggest things.
And that's the thing. A lot of clients don't know, though, because I know when I didn't know when I started, right?
Yeah. People
don't know. And, like, when you first get it, you think that it's amazing until, like, a year or two later, and you're like, I hate this tattoo. But you were so excited about it at first, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, those are the 3 things I would change.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they're really important, too.
They're crucial. I think if anyone can get anything from this episode is to lock in onto those 3 things. Because without them, you're cooked.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to get a tattoo. So, but Imarri, I don't want to wrap this up. This is so good. But I'm going to have to. Before we wrap this up, is there any other things you want to say? Because this is... I know we've been talking about this episode for a minute, but I feel like a lot of people that have been listening to this are getting a lot from it. And I'm gonna have to bring you on back for another episode.
Yeah,
I'm definitely with it. I'm definitely with it. But yeah, before we wrap this up, is there anything else you wanna say?
I just wanna keep encouraging people of all complexions just to continue to express yourself. Don't feel, I know people are always scared when they come in. Oh, if I get this, I can't work here. I can't. Only way we can change that is by normalizing tattoos. You know, tattoos are a source of, like, people see it sometimes as like raunchy, but it should be a source of luxury, honestly, because they're not cheap. And a lot of them are really beautiful. So don't be afraid to get those tattoos and express yourself. Research your artist, and if you want to, come to me, because I love you guys and I'll always take care of you. And you know what I mean? So
we'll shout you out in the bio. Don't worry, you're taking care of it over at the Gifted Gab. We here.
I don't care.
All right. On that note, Imarri, again, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you making your way out here. It was a good one.
Yeah.
You know. On that note, we out.